The Celtic Forever podcast is a zero advert and zero profit channel. The channel also includes Celtic highlights and player interviews, so join the uninterrupted fun and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.
Hi folks, the warmest of welcomes to the Celtic Forever podcast. I'm Xander. We've got John here to go through the Dundee United game later on today. Big game, good chance to catch up on 3 points, put us second in the league, where we won't celebrate being second if we win, like some other clubs celebrate being second. But anyway, that's another story for another day. But as a chance to close the gap on the Rangers and obviously close the gap to just 3 points on Hearts as well. Let's bring in John. How are you, John?
Aye, how are you? Chance to close the gap. The Rangers, like you says, they're according to you. I don't live in Glasgow, so I don't know. But you're saying they were setting off fireworks after going second in the league.
Yeah, celebrating second in the table, John. I've been second most of the season, and I've not seen a firework go off once, being second. So that's the difference between the two clubs. But yeah, John, the fact that we're third is very worrying. But the board have finally acted, John, by sacking Wilfred Nancy, no longer at the club. His assistant manager sacked as well, John. So, you know, nobody wants to see anybody get sacked, but trust me, that guy will be well off with the payoff that he's going to receive. So he's no longer at the club, John, Wilfred Nancy. It's just a huge relief. And Tisdale also been sacked as well, John.
It's good news all round. I'd love to look at these contracts with these guys that come in, you know, the get out clause. If you sack a manager for losing 6 out of 8 games in Scotland, you're entitled to £5 million or whatever. I don't know what his payoff is. Could be less than that. Might be more than that for all I know. I don't know anything how much he's going to get paid for this. But what a waste of money, and what a bad bit of business by Celtic. The biggest waste of money in Celtic's history, if you count Arnie Engels out of
that. Every week you have a wee dig, didn't you? No, but I know what you're saying, John. It's the board, you know, Nicholson and the boards, you know, and the others there that are making all these big decisions, who have actually set us back quite a bit, John. Now, my question is to you and anybody else that's listening wants to put into the comments, can the players go for a 4th time this season, John? They had to go under Brendan Rodgers, he got sacked. Then they had to go under Martin O'Neill, he left the club because we signed Nancy. Then we had to go again under Nancy. That was the 3rd time under him. The players just totally refused to play under him, let's be honest. And then a 4th time, John, by Martin O'Neill coming back to the club, which is fantastic news, John. We'll touch on that in a wee minute. But can the players go a 4th time?
They're going to have to. They've no choice. By the way, Arnie Engels, just before I go to touch on what you says there, Arnie Engels, Martin O'Neill seemed to get a lot more out than anybody else did. Do you agree with that?
Totally agree with that, John. And Martin O'Neill got a lot out of all the boys on the park, Johnny Kenny especially, scoring Glasgow Derby goals, scoring decent goals, John, in the league, and then he just fell away as soon as Martin O'Neill left. So we're hoping that, you know, Saint Martin O'Neill can come in and do the exact same thing again, John. So, but are the boys up for it, John? You know, you heard Martin O'Neill's interview yesterday, John. Didn't seem that upbeat to me. You know, he's happy to be back at the club, yeah, but I think he's a bit bemused why he was let go in the first place.
I think that's probably the bigger part of it. I don't think Martin was... he must have been looking at Nancy and saying, they get rid of me for him. Yeah. I mean, reading the comments section, I know we're not here to talk about comments, but talk about Nancy. All the Celtic fans are delighted that he's away, and one Rangers fan didn't agree with somebody that says, I can't remember the exact words, but Celtic would have been 15 points clear of Rangers had it not been for Nancy. And a Rangers fan tended to disagree with that. How can you disagree with that? If Martin O'Neill was in charge of Celtic for all 6 of the games that Nancy lost, Celtic would be 15 points clear of the Rangers. That's just a fact.
Yeah, it's a fact if we would have won the games, John. And under Martin O'Neill, there's every chance we would have won the games, of course. And that makes 5 games adds up to 15 points. So you're absolutely bang on. And we would have had a cup in the bag as well. But it's all if, buts, maybes, John. We don't know what would have happened, but there's a great chance that is the case, isn't it? So yeah, the Rangers fans, the Rangers fans, I was looking at the Celtic Motherwell game, and the Motherwell fans are singing, keep the board, keep the board. Now, the Rangers beat Celtic, by the way, and how they managed to beat us, John, I do not know. We've not even had a say on that yet. But how they managed to beat us, I do not know after that stunning first half performance. But they eventually get that 3-1 win, John, and their fans are singing the Motherwell song. So they've just got nothing that belongs to them. The Rangers fans were singing, keep the board as well, John. It's absolutely pathetic, and it really is. But no, John, you're bang on. We need to hope that the players can go for a 4th time, to be honest with you, John. I think they can. I think under Martin O'Neill, he'll get the best out of them again. But we're asking a lot of these boys.
Asking a lot. But look, they're no... they've got to be held accountable as well, Xander, for the mess. For their performances, for their sitters in front of goal and all that stuff. For their sitting off of Motherwell players, letting them pass it about and no getting in for tackles and stuff, just letting them pass the ball. But they've got to be held accountable as well, the players, remember. You can't just blame one guy. All right, look, Nancy refused to change the system back to the way Celtic play and had lots of success with that. But the players have got to be held responsible as well. They're the guys on the park doing the job. And I'm talking about guys like Johnny Kenny, missing absolute sitters that a 3-year-old could knock into the net. No taking the multiple chances that they created. So, look, they're not getting off scot-free in my eyes either, the players. I totally blame it on Nancy more than the players, of course I do, because they refused to go back to the way the players like to play, the way they were used to for years. He refused to revert back to that. So he is largely responsible, but the players, they played a big part in losing these games as well, Xander, remember?
Yeah, of course, the players have got a lot, to blame for the performances, John, for the losses as well. You've got to bear in mind that Nancy didn't have various players due to injury, but Martin O'Neill was the same, John. He managed to get a tune out of them. It's all down to stubbornness. It's all down to stubbornness, John. So it'd be Nancy not changing the formation to a more settled style of play that the players were comfortable with. No. So yeah, that's exactly. You're right.
Well, this is it, isn't it? And the reason that you can look at all the games and pick, I'm not going to name players, right? I'm not going to just pick one. I know I mentioned Johnny Kenny missing sitters, but he's a striker that doesn't strike. Martin O'Neill seemed to get a tune out of him okay, so maybe he'll be all right. I really don't know, but we need a striker. We need a striker badly. But against the Rangers, yeah. That big dud, shitty, Shermitty. scoring 2 goals against us.
Yeah, I know.
That's when you can start to look at players and say you can be held accountable, because somebody like that should not be scoring against Celtic. He's an absolute donkey, a player, and he managed to bag 2 goals against Celtic, the champions. And that's due to bad defending, bad goalkeeping, all that stuff. Blame it on whoever you want. That guy shouldn't be scoring 2 goals against Celtic. Why are the worst players in the league? Walking past Celtic players like the one they did.
Yeah, after that first half performance, it was lovely to watch. It was absolutely... I was surprised. I was actually shocked at the performance we put in. But then again, at the same time, and in the same breath, the chances that we missed, umpteen chances yet again, John. As soon as that half-time whistle went, I knew it wasn't going to happen because we went the 2 goals up. We scored the second goal, the game's over, and we had the chances to do it, John. It was the exact same as all games previous to it. Half decent first half and a dreadful second half, and the exact same thing happened again. So it's a new era, John. Martin O'Neill, he's back in at the club. We're all grateful for the board for doing that. They took too long to do it, in my opinion. He should have been sacked after the 3rd or 4th game, in my opinion. But no, the board have let Rangers catch up. They've let Hearts go further ahead. Again, that's all down to the board to me for bringing this guy in the first place. But, they finally saw sense, got rid of the dreadful management team that we had there, John. So they're away, and thank God he's away, to be honest with you. I would say good luck, but I wish the guy good luck, John, because he's basically destroyed our season. With any luck, Martin O'Neill can turn it around. With any luck, we're all hoping that's still the case. There's still plenty of games to go, and Tisdale, he's away as well, John. So let's get to some gossip and rumours just now before we get into the big preview of the Dundee United game later on today. There could be weather disruption to the games today, John. There could be quite a lot of postponed games, shall we say, but the game of Celtic Park should be okay, John. The weather's okay, it's cold, it's icy, but I think the game should be okay.
I've not checked the weather. I don't live there, obviously, but it's been really cold here. There's still snow lying about.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like down the road, but I'd imagine there'll be a bit of disruption to the games. I think most of the bad weather's confined to down south, to be honest with you, for what I've seen in the weather. I mean, I'm pretty much Billy Connolly. If you want to know what the weather's like, look out the window. That's the way I look at it.
Aye, that's it, John. And obviously up north, they're getting it really tough as well. Up Aberdeen way, up north.
Are they, aye?
Yeah, it's very bad up there, John. All sorts of problems with the weather up there, the snow, heavy line snow. Anyway, the Celtic game should be okay. Anyway, but you never know, John. You never know how it could change. We're doing this early in the morning. It could be worse later on. Right, John, let's move it on. Couple of rumours. There's a couple of these that are quite close. Jocelyn, Maccabi and the tenure winger, John, Jocelyn Tabi or Tabai. I don't know how you pronounce this guy's name. I think it's Tabai. The winger, John, he is close to signing for Celtic. £2 million fee for Tabai, John. So it looks as though we're going to get another winger over the line in the next couple of days.
It looks like it. I know that a lot of the Celtic fans are not happy about this, the board buying a player from an Israeli club.
All right.
You know what I mean? It's I was reading up on that. I don't want to get into the political side of things, but you can guess why the Celtic fans, or no other Celtic fans, but a lot of Celtic fans who are politically motivated, kind of thing.
Yeah.
They don't want a player from that particular club. If you want to read into that yourself, but I'll not talk any more about that. But some Celtic fans are not happy with it.
Yeah, as long as the guy can play, John, that's what because we need quality in the door, and £2 million is a lot of money, even in this day for Celtic, John. It's a lot of money, so he has to be able to play. Callum Wilson as well, John. He's also linked to the club. Prolific goal scorer, Callum Wilson. Played for Bournemouth, played for a couple of other clubs down in England. He's a free agent, actually, John. He's just been released. Who was that? Aston Villa, has it? I think he's been released by John, so he is a possibility as well, Callum Wilson. Now, I have seen Callum Wilson, John, a few times. He's a good goal scorer. He knows where the net is, clearly. This one is just a rumour, of course. He's not close to signing, but apparently Martin O'Neill is interested in him. But if we get this guy, you've probably heard of him, John. But I'm telling you, John, he is a good player. I don't know how he is now. No seen him play for a couple of years, but he was a good player a few years ago, John, finding the net just about every game he played.
I've seen him before, definitely seen him before. We'll see what happens. He's a free agent, so it's right up Celtic Street, that, isn't it? Free agent. That's kind of stuff that Celtic look at. The other boy, Tabi, is it? I think that's how it's pronounced. I watched his compilation clip on YouTube earlier. Looks fast, skillful. Don't know how he would fare in Scotland. I never go by compilation clips. If you were to go by compilation clips on every player, every single player would be Messi. They just basically pick the best moments of a player, didn't they? But for what I've seen, he looks direct, very, very fast. Puts in a good cross as well, got a good strike on him as well. So
Yeah.
we'll wait and see with that one. But like I said, I've always said this to you every time I mention a compilation clip. I never go by that. I wait to see him in action for myself.
Yeah, that's it, John. We'll wait and see. Next couple of days, we'll find out about to buy or to be, John. And Callum Wilson, I'd like to see that one getting over the line, John. To be honest with you, I think that was a big problem for Nancy, not having a prolific striker, John, or a quality striker, somebody with a bit of experience, John. He was definitely his hands were tied behind his back with that, I suppose. But Martin O'Neill also didn't have that quality striker, John, and he got a tune out of the likes of Johnny Kenny and Dyson Meader up front.
Well, this is it. And the young boy Osmond as well. We got a good tune out of him.
Yeah.
And he's due to come back as well, remember. So, look, Martin O'Neill, he will get the best out of the players. He's well respected. I was watching the clip of him at training. I think it was a good lengthy video for Celtic TV standards on YouTube, no, the Celtic channel on YouTube, the official Celtic channel. It's only one I watch. But I was watching the players training and all that stuff. It was pretty good. And then the camera panned around to Martin O'Neill entering the frame, if you like. After about 4 minutes of watching Celtic players training, the camera pans round and there's Martin O'Neill walking out for the, I don't know what you call it, the reception area or whatever, onto the playing field. And he's just got an aura about him, a presence. You can see it.
Uh-huh.
I've never noticed that before with Martin O'Neill, but you see him coming on and you could see there is still an aura and a presence about Martin O'Neill. And I think the players highly, highly respect him. So it's a good move bringing him back. Absolutely 100%. And like you said earlier, it should never have been let go.
Of course, John. We wouldn't have been at the state we are. Might have lost a couple of games, but manager doesn't. But, we're definitely going to be in this position where we find ourselves just now. Teams lying in second in the league, celebrating, setting off fireworks parties because they're second, not first, second in the league. And of course, Hearts stretching their lead as well. We'll get into them a wee bit later on, actually, who currently sit 6 points ahead of Celtic at this moment. All right, John, we'll move on. There's not really any other, strikers linked to the club just now. Also, the Kyogo Furuhashi one. That looks as though it's getting a bit colder, John. It looks as though that's not going to happen. It looks as though Kyogo wants to fight for his place at Birmingham. To be honest with you, I'm quite happy that John, because I think he scored one goal down at Birmingham, John. One goal. He done nothing in France either, John. So and before he left Celtic, John, he couldn't find the net either. So I'm quite happy if he stays at Birmingham.
I don't want him back at Celtic. I said this to you months ago. I wouldn't take him back to Celtic. Because like you says, when his last season at Celtic, I don't know how many goals he scored, I don't remember, but he couldn't hit a barn door. He was terrible. It looked like he didn't want to be there. He was so poor, it was unbelievable. And he was good at forcing goalkeepers into a mistake, maybe. That was his strength in his final months at Celtic. He could force the goalkeeper into a mistake with his pace and all that, but couldn't score a goal. Was it Nice he went to after that?
Rennes, was it, John? Rennes,
was it Rennes?
Yeah.
Some French mob anyway. He never had any joy there. Goes to Birmingham, no joy there. So why would anybody be happy to see him back at Celtic? I know a lot of Celtic guys were looking forward to seeing him coming back. Certainly not me. I don't want him back at Celtic.
But the thing is, the younger generation wanted to see him back because they've not seen a player like Kyogo before that. We've obviously saw the likes of your Henry Larssons, your Chris Suttons, your John Hartisons, etc., Charlie Nicholas, all these kind of guys down the years. But they've not seen, icons like that. Kyogo was an icon for them, John. So the younger ones would quite happily see him back. A lot of the older ones would happily see him back as well, because he's a lot better than anything we've got there at the moment, John, I think.
Well, it's hard to say. I think Iheanacho hasn't really proven himself yet at Celtic. He spent most of his time on the bench. He's not had a chance.
Yeah.
So we don't know much about Iheanacho, but he looks a very decent player, and it's just a pity he's so injury prone. I don't think Celtic should keep that, that deal going. I think you should just let him go at the end of the season, because he's far too injury prone. But he looks decent when he does play, doesn't he? Iheanacho, I quite like him. And like he says, there hasn't been an icon at striker-wise at Celtic. Probably, if you want to talk about iconic strikers, Henrik Larsson was the last one. We had guys like Brian McClare, Charlie Nicholas, like he says, guys like that, and Sutton Harts and Gary Hooper even.
Yeah.
Very good striker at Celtic, He was probably the last prolific striker, if you like, at Celtic. Gary Hooper.
I would say so, John. Maybe Griffiths. Griffiths was good as well, but no many more after that, to be honest with you. So
I think Griffiths was the last one that could take a free kick.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. And I think that, remember we were talking about the last Celtic player to score a free kick. It was Jota against Real Madrid, John. I think you were right. A direct free kick, that is. It's from the ground into the net. Well, in case anybody's wondering what a direct free kick is, no, John, we're dreadful at free kicks, aren't we?
We've not had a free kick taker since Lee Griffiths, somebody that can smash the ball into the net. I know Jota scored one, I'm sure he did anyway. That was my guess, was Jota was the last one to score a free kick for Celtic direct. And that was in his last spell at Celtic with Big Ange in charge. So it has been a few years since we've scored that direct from a free kick. When I see Celtic getting a free kick outside the box, I'm going to put the kettle on. I know nothing's going to come from it.
That's true. Other strikers we've had, by the way, just keep people off saying, they're forgetting about him, forgetting about. It doesn't matter who we're forgetting about. But Big Edouard was decent. Obviously, the big other French guy we had, what was his name? Dembele. Mr. Dembele. All decent strikers, John, so we need to mention the other guys that have done a job for us. But
Big Sammy.
Big Sammy was brilliant, yeah. I liked Big Sammy last John, got to admit. Great big player, him.
Some of his performances were quite poor, right enough. He was hot and cold, wasn't he? But when he was hot, he was really good. Sometimes he was absolute fire, Big Samaras, wasn't he? He was sometimes you go, is that the same player that played in the last game? Yeah. It was a funny one, but you could tell Bag's ability, and he scored a ton of goals for Celtic as well, didn't he?
Yeah, that's it, John. But for this younger generation, it was all about Kyogo, wasn't it? And it was quite sad when we seen him leaving, because the boy put in some tremendous running effort and scored some fantastic goals. The ones that stood out for me, apart from the ones against the Rangers, was the two in the cup final against Hibs, John. That was tremendous. I'll never forget that. The smoke was all gone up, and with the flares and things, John, and Hibs scored, and Celtic scored almost immediately. That was tremendous. I'll never forget that performance for the wee man. So I think that deal's off anyway, John.
Aye, it's definitely off. I can't see it happening. I don't want it to happen anyway. I just think Kyogo's, he's no the answer. I think we need to start bringing fresh talent into the club. You need to expand their horizons. They need to bring fresh players in, players with a lot of ability, fresh faces around the club. That's what's needed, Xander. We can't keep going back away all the time and bringing guys that were here before back and all that stuff. I don't want that. It never worked out for Jota when he came back. He wasn't even half the player he was when he came back to Celtic, Jota, was he? I don't know. Maybe Martin O'Neill will get a tune out of him when he comes back. We'll wait and see. But in regards to Kyogo, no for me.
Yeah, and a wee quick word on Jota, actually. What type of player are we going to get back? And I think he's due back in about 4 weeks. Maybe even a wee bit sooner, actually. But when he does eventually come back, John, and he's actually on that field, you've got to remember, you look at Henrik Larsson, when he broke his leg, he came back an absolute world-class top striker, John. I'm hoping that Jota comes back even better than what he was first time around at Celtic. even after that horrendous injury he got against Dundee United, I might add, John, who were playing today. Do you think we'll get a better player back in Jota?
It's hard to say because I've not seen him. But like you say, Henrik Larsson snapped his leg into a horrific shin. Snapped that one. I remember watching it on the telly. You see his shin sticking out his shin guard. It was horrific, and he came back just a far superior player. Oh, he was out of this world, Henrik Larsson. But I don't think you're going to quite get that with Jota. I really don't know. It's hard to say because I've not seen him. But right now, my heart tells me I don't think so, Xander. I don't think we're going to get that player back again that shone so bright for Celtic in his last spell here. Me personally, right now, my heart's saying no, we're not going to get that player that played under Big Ange. We're not going to get that back again. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's what we'll wait and see, John. You're right. Okay, preview time. Let's get into it. Dundee United, 3 o'clock kickoff later on today. As I said earlier, tries to close the gap on Hearts to just the 3 points and move up to second again in the league. And if we move up to second, let's hope the Celtic fans set off fireworks. We just don't have that in us, John. Second is last as far as the Celtic supporters and fans are concerned, John. But if we do get the 3 points, and it's not going to be easy against Dundee United, because you've got to remember, John, it's just the same players that have failed miserably over the last 8 games. Well, 6 of the 8 games.
Aye, it is, but it's we don't know. It's going to go back to the old formation for a start. It's going to go back to that 4 at the back, and that was the problem under Nancy. Was he was playing 3 at the back, and I don't think guys like Ralston were equipped to play that. He does all right when he's playing in the back 4. Ralston playing as a fullback, I think he does okay there. We need better quality, of course. Solid enough player that Tony is. We need better quality there. We've got Alistair Johnson to come back, of course, and we signed that new guy. Can't remember his name. The guy with the white hair, the dyed white hair.
Arujo.
Yep. He's a full back as well. Apparently, he can play in there. So we'll see how he'll start tomorrow. I don't know. We can do a starting lineup now because you're guaranteed under Martin we can go back to the old system. We can maybe predict a lineup.
Yeah, the players were all over the place under Nancy, but they really were. Yeah, we can do a lineup in a couple of minutes, John. But let's move on to some of the other stuff we normally do first, and then we'll do the lineups. And I'm looking at Dundee United, John. They're sitting 7th in the league, but it's a sort of a false position because they win one game, they move their way up to 5th or something like that, John. So, they'll be really up for this game, John. They really will. I know. Did they lose the Dundee derby? I think they did, didn't they? I think Dundee beat Dundee United.
Aye, they did, aye.
Yeah. So, their heads will be down. They're coming to Celtic Park. Celtic are under a new manager, new lease of life, if you like. But Jim Goodwin, John, he's a decent bloke, a decent manager. And they will make it very tough for us later on today.
Of course they will. I mean, he's out to win every game for his team. So, every game's going to be tough that we face. Every team in the league's always going to be up for a battle with Celtic when it comes to it. They're always going to be up to battle with Celtic. Celtic are the champions. Anybody Rangers fans listening, just remember that. Celtic are the champions. We are the champions. You can't celebrate being second. You don't get anything for finishing second in this league. So while you're out letting off fireworks, I've no idea. Sorry for getting off in one there, Xander, but you know what I mean? It's just, it's an absolute joke.
It's quite bad, John. It's the thing is, and it's a serious side to it, John, because there's pets all over the place. They're going through torture with these things going off at 10 o'clock at night all over Glasgow because of a team getting 3 points against a dreadful Aberdeen team with no manager. And there's pets all over the place, going through absolute torture. And I feel for them, but I know it's a Celtic podcast, but it's a serious point, John. We don't want to see it. These things should be banned anyway. See, these fireworks should be banned up and down the country anyway, as far as I'm concerned. and just left to the authorities to do it if there's any like Guy Fawkes nights and things like that, New Year, all that kind of stuff. Apart from that, they should be banned. They should be totally banned. Anyway, John, back to the football. Nick Walsh, he is your man in the middle for Dundee United later on today. And our good friend, Mr. Andrew Dallas, he is your man on the VAR. So that's your officials for this one. Sriracha, John, he is still out injured. I mean, this guy, I thought he was only going about for a week or two. That's about 6 weeks he's been out now. The usual ones, Vickers still out, Johnson still out, Jota still out, and the actual still out. And who's young boy, Callum Osmond, he's still out as well, John. But we do have two returning, John. We have Tanetti, he returns after international duty, and Balak Wisha, he also returns after international duty. But I don't think they were getting a game anyway, John, were they?
I was just about to say, whoopie-doo. Balak Wisha, the enigmatic Balak Wisha. No seen nothing from him since he joined Celtic.
And what's a fee? What's a fee we paid for him, John? Was it £4 million?
I don't know how much we paid for him. Can't remember, but
three and a half, something like that, wasn't it?
Well, he's just joined Celtic. It doesn't matter how much we paid for him. But I'll keep getting back to it. We paid £11 million for Engels. So if you look at a £3-4 million fee for Balak Wisha that I don't see him doing anything since he joined Celtic. I think he set up a goal or something like that.
Yeah, he's set up a goal against Motherwell at Celtic Park, John. That's all the boy has done. But at the same breath, he's not had much of a chance, has he?
Well, this is it. That's what I'm saying. He's not had a chance. That's why I'm calling him the enigmatic, because we never see him.
Yeah.
This player that he comes with a healthy price tag attached to him, and when you see players like that, where Celtic between Balak Wisha and Engels, there's about 15 million quid there of talent, and I've still not seen anything out of any of them. So you'll never be fooled by big price tags. You know what I mean? It's I don't go by that. I'm saying whoopie-doo because I've seen nothing from any of them. The day two boys that you mentioned, Tanetti, kind of started his Celtic career with a flourish, didn't he? Playing well, skillful. And then the Scottish players got onto him, marked him at the game, and he was just crossing the ball at the park and all that.
Yeah.
Don't get him. Aye, you could say that, aye. But very poor. That's why I'm being sarcastic by saying whoopie-doo when I'm hearing guys like Balak Wisha and Tanetti coming back, and then you're mentioning players like Alistair Johnston, Carter Vickers, Callum Osmond, Sriracha, Inayacho. The sign of them coming back, and that's the ones you want back,
Yeah, definitely, John. But we've definitely been hampered this season. This season reminds me slightly of the COVID season because you've got Rangers, everything falling into place for them, playing teams twice in 4 days with no manager, all that kind of stuff was happening during COVID as well, wasn't it? Where the Celtic players are dropping like flies. We've got now onto our fourth, John, counting them, fourth manager in 19 games, or 18 games, I can't remember. But John, 4 managers in such a short space of time. I mean, at the end of the day, it's actually a bonus because there's still a lot of football to be played, John.
There's a hell of a lot still to be played, 18 games still to go. I mean, you've got to just hope Celtic can go on a run. I say that's the last time it never happened with what's his name? The last guy. I forgot his name already. Nancy.
Nancy.
Aye. So I says that weeks and weeks ago. After he lost a couple of games, maybe he'll get a wee win and we can go on a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 game run or whatever. It never materialised. And we're back to Martin O'Neill again, who got a great tune out of all the players. I was reading Celtic News Now, is it you call it?
Yeah.
I always read through that, and I was looking at it.
That does matter nothing. Celtic News Now. Fair play to the boys, they're good over there. I do like them, and they accepted our channel as well and put some of our stuff out. But see the fact that you need to click on it to get the story. It gives you half a headline and you need to click in it to get the rest. I know what you're saying. I do flick through it myself, but why not just give us a full headline? And if you want to read it, then click in it and read it.
Well, this is it, isn't it? I mean, these headlines are aimed at having to direct you to a website, so it gives you a wee teaser to get you to their website, because when you visit their website, they get paid for it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what one it was the day that I clicked on. But I clicked on it anyway. He's talking about Martin O'Neill and getting one over on Cristiano Ronaldo, who's, I think he must be on a Zimmer frame by now, must be about 45-year-old or something.
No offence to him that it's 45 right there.
No offence, no, I'm older than 45, so I can say what I want.
You got two Zimmer frames.
I got a Zimmer frame under each armpit. But you're looking at people talking about Martin O'Neill and Cristiano. Who cares about Martin O'Neill? Brendan Rodgers out in Saudi Arabia getting one over on Cristiano Ronaldo. Who gives an absolute toss what's happening in Saudi Arabia with Brendan Rodgers? Seriously, who gives a toss? Do you?
No, that's the probably least thing in my mind. In fact, I can remember the last time I even thought about Brendan Rodgers, to be honest with how he's doing. I've not thought about that once. There you go, since you left.
Brendan Rodgers.
Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers was good against the Rangers, wasn't he? Anyway, we'll move on, John. We'll move on. This is a big game today, John. This is a massive game, because I think 3 points with them both no playing until Sunday. That's Rangers and Hearts, John, no playing until Sunday. I think that it gives us a great chance, John. It really does give us a great chance to put the Martin O'Neill factor back into our title aspirations this season, and it puts a wee bit of fear factor into the club, that are still to play on the Sunday.
Aye, well, it does. I mean, it's always hard when you're chasing a team. I mean, we're third in the league right now with a game in hand against the Rangers. We need to just keep calling them Rangers now. We can thank Nancy for one thing, and that's calling them Rangers.
Yeah, I think we were the only ones that jumped right on it, John, to be honest. But that's quite funny. We can be thankful for that. He did call them in his interview. We played the Rangers tomorrow, and we've stuck right onto it. So, we can be thankful for that, I suppose. But no, John, it does put us in a very nice position with a win against Dundee United later on in the day, because it's not the fact that we beat Dundee United. It's the fact that we win a game, and hopefully it's convincing, with Martin O'Neill and Charles John, and that we can kick on from there.
Aye, this is it, isn't it? It's got to be convincing. We've got to start banging in goals, because we're way behind Hearts. I don't know about Rangers right enough, but we're definitely behind Hearts when it comes to goals. I think we might be slightly ahead of it. I don't know, because we lost that game 3-1 against Rangers. And then they beat Aberdeen 2-0, didn't they? So,
yeah, they're
scoring goals. We are really, really struggling for goals right now. And that all comes from the fact we don't have a striker. You know what I mean? But you don't have a striker, you don't score that many goals. But Celtic, traditionally over the last, I don't know how many years, banging in goals from all over the park, from defence, midfield and attack. And we've not seen that the last couple of months, have we? It's been really difficult, but get a half decent striker in, but the team needs 5 or 6 faces added to it, and I would push on from there, and hopefully we can start turning these teams over with convincing wins like Dundee United, maybe turning them over 5-0 or something like that. Be a good start.
Yeah, the Dundee United team that beat us 2-1 just a few weeks ago, wasn't it, John? So they're back at paradise. All right, John. We can only hope that, Martin O'Neill's first game, the last time around, was a 3-0 win against Kilmarnock. So we're looking for something similar later on the day. But no, we can't take anything for granted, John, because players' heads, they must be absolutely everywhere, playing under the 4th manager. But it's the 3rd manager, but Martin O'Neill twice. But that makes it 4 managers, John, in the space of 4 months.
When you're chopping and changing that much, it does interfere with the players. But I still hold them partly responsible for the decline in performances,
Yeah.
you can do nothing but hold them partly responsible, because they're the guys on the pitch. They're the ones that are not winning games. So you've got to look at them as well. But when you come right down to it, it's Nancy was the main reason. He changed everything. He changed that winning formula. Martin O'Neill dragged us back from being so many points behind Hearts to being level with Hearts.
Level with Hearts with a game in hand, and we lost that game in hand.
Aye, and lost every other game after it.
Yeah, we had a game in hand, and Nancy played that game in hand, and we lost it. That was the biggest mistake. Anyway, John, I went through it. The board have got a lot to answer for. And let's hope they can make it up to the Celtic supporters that pay a lot of money, John, and Celtic to watch the team. But that was a massive blunder. It really was. And we said at the time, John, we just didn't understand why they didn't give Martin O'Neill at least the next 3 games. Go 3 points clear in the league, win the cup, and give us a great chance of qualifying for Europe as well. And the board just did not want to do it. They had their sights set on the Nancy, and they stuck with it, John. And they're the ones that are going to have to answer all these very tough questions. They got away with it, John. They got away with it with the meeting that got cancelled with the shareholders, John. But they'll not get away with it forever.
No. Celtic fans won't stand for it, and they're not standing for it. Things are starting to happen now, which is good. And Martin O'Neill's came in. He'll bring a bit of togetherness back with the fans and all that stuff. The fans will get right behind the team from now on, hopefully. And the sooner this garbage with the board is cleared up, the better, because it has been a hindrance this season, hasn't it? It's just, there's been a horrible atmosphere all season. It takes you back to the dark days, and that's a club with plenty of cash in the bank. Do you know what I mean? It's not a team that's in crisis with funds. There's plenty of money there. You just don't want to spend it, and this is what started it all.
Yeah, that's it. And the Green Brigade, John, still not allowed into the stadium. I'm not sure if they're allowed back in for the game later on today. I've not really looked into it, but I've definitely missed them over the last 5 or 6 weeks.
Aye, definitely, aye. Watching that Derby game last week, and you looked at that corner where the Green Brigade are, and there's a big green tarpaulin sitting there. I think as soon as I seen that, I'm thinking, this isn't going to go. But I just had a bad feeling when I put the telly on to watch it. This is going to go wrong. I could just feel it as soon as I seen that big green tarpaulin. It just got me thinking, this isn't going to be good today. And fair play to Celtic, the first half, they were fantastic, I thought. But what the heck happened in that second half? I have absolutely no idea. But I had a funny feeling it was coming.
Yeah, of course, John. Very, very tough. It's been, as you say, John, a very, very tough season indeed. But anyway, John, that's what it is. John, that's where we're at. Do you want to go into the starting lineups?
Aye, might as well.
Yeah.
On you go.
Yeah, on you go, John. You give us a Celtic one, and I'll give you the Dundee United one.
Celtic lineup: Kasper Schmeichel, 3 stone overweight.
Okay.
He does. He looks well overweight, doesn't he?
Aye, he does. Aye.
I think he must get a free pie every time he kicks the ball right to a Rangers player or any other player.
He's overage, you know, John. The boy needs dropped, and every time a manager comes in, he gets kept in between the sticks, John. But you're right, John. I think he needs to dropped and Sanassaro put in between the sticks. I know he put off a decent save against Rangers, but by that point it was too late, John. They'd already conceded another 3 goals.
Aye, I would drop him. You've got to look at that goalkeeping record and say, look, this isn't working, man. It's you've got to be dropped. Something's got to change. Something's got to give there. You can't keep giving a goalkeeper that passes the ball direct to opposition players. You can't keep putting them in between the sticks, then kicking it right out the park and all that. He kicks it to opposition players and then shouts at the defence and all that.
That's it. It's very poor now. And a lot of the supporters now want them dropped. We've been saying it for a few weeks now, but I think the supporters have had enough. I think that's us up to nearly 38 goals he's conceded this season, John. It's a lot. That's in all competitions, of course, but he's conceded a heck of a lot of goals. I know the defence has got a lot to do with that as well, but he is the man in between the sticks that's there to stop that from happening. So it's time for Sinisalo, John. But on you go, John. Continue with your lineup, buddy.
Right, Schmeichel, Scales. Time for the big man to come back, definitely. So it's I'd love it to be Sinisalo, but Schmeichel, Scales, and Trusty.
Yeah.
With Kieran Tierney on the left. And don't know if he'll start with this new boy at the right, but I think he'll go with Anthony Ralston.
Yeah.
Anthony will be a lot happier playing in his proper position, you know.
Yeah.
So he'll start with Tony there, I think. Centre of the park. I think Martin liked Callum McGregor with Engels and I think what's the other boy's name, the Swedish boy.
Nygren.
So you might see that. You might see that there. McGregor, Engels, and Nygren.
Yeah.
I think Nygren's your top scorer this season.
He is. Yeah.
So that's
which is quite bad, and that's where all the problem lies, isn't it, John? No striker.
No striker, aye. Well, this is it, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you want to strike, you need a striker.
That's it.
It's as simple as that. Up front, it'll be Dyson on the left. It's going to be Kenny into it again. It's all we've got.
That's it.
Johnny Kenny. Maybe he'll feel a bit more confident with Martin O'Neill there. Maybe he'll feel happier. Maybe Martin's had a word with him or whatever. I really don't know. We'll wait and see anyway. But Dyson, Kenny, and Yang on the right. I thought Yang was first half against the Rangers. I thought Yang was outstanding. But
I mean, see if we could get Yang to put in a performance for 90 minutes, at least 3/4 of the season. John, what a player we would have in our books. That boy was amazing against them for 45 minutes. And then Nancy decides to put him over the right-hand side, John, as the left-hand side, John, as a left wing-back. Absolutely crazy stuff, John. Crazy. On the right, it was brilliant, dynamic, scored the goal. And what a goal it was, by the way, against them. Scored the goal, setting up chances, crossing the ball brilliantly, kept the ball in the park. I think once you put it out the park, actually, apart from that, John, he was brilliant in that first half. Taking the man on, inside, outside. What a performance. And then Nancy decides, nah, he's playing too good. We'll put him on the other side, John. Anyway, I don't even want to talk about that guy anymore, to be honest with you, John, because it was just a disaster. But yeah, for me, it's going to be Yang as well, John. With Dyson Meter and Kenny, like you said, John. I agree with that, but I think it will be Hatate, Engels with McGregor, John, on the holding role, and then it's going to be Schmeichel for me as well. But I think Araujo will get a start ahead of Ralston, so it'll be Araujo, Trusty, Scales, and Tierney for me, John. I'll quickly run through what I think the Dundee United starting 11 will be. More or less the same team that beat Celtic the last time out, which would be Richards. Let's see, Lovu, Keristar, Graham, Sibbald, Stevenson, Ferry, Satsford, Fata, Waters, and Camera. John, that's my lineup for Dundee United, which is more or less the same team that beat us. Was it 2-1 last time out, John? 2-1, I think it was, wasn't it?
2-1, eh?
Yeah, okay. Right, that's that. All right, competition time then, John. Let's do the competition. We mentioned it yet. That's how bad things have been. You haven't even mentioned the competition, the league table on your left-hand side there. Great prize up for grabs, John. Absolutely fantastic prize at the end of the season. If you can finish top of that league table, you win the prize. It's all yours. A big box full of various stuff: flags, scarves, tops, Celtic footballs, Celtic letters, Celtic pens. Blah, 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 whole lot of stuff there, John, and that brilliant prize will be delivered to your door free of charge if you are top of the league. Right now, it is Collins at the top of the league with 12 points. And it's been 12 points for a wee while now, John, so we need to start getting. I mean, the whole season, John, actually has been quite poor for guesses let's be honest. Not many people getting guesses right because Celtic have been too unpredictable. So let's get the guesses in for this Dundee United game, folks, if you're in that 24-player league table. And by the way, John, there is a new entry into the league table. He guesses every week, and I've not added his name into the league table yet, and it is Gaza. John is into the league table. He is there, John. He guesses every week. He's not had any right yet, I might add, but he is there. He's added into the league table. So that's us up to 25 again, John, actually. So it's a 25-man or player, league. Get your guess in. One guess each into the comment section. Guess for Dundee United later on today. Good luck with that, everybody. And I was actually going to add in the Celtic B game as well, John. Just as a wee New Year bonus. Didn't give anybody a bonus this New Year. So New Year bonus, get your guess in for, and this is an idea to tell you how many people listen. 50 minutes in, John, didn't it? Get your guess in for Celtic B against the Spoilers, John. The Spoilers, what do you think of that? Celtic B against the Spoilers later on today.
Spoilers? Well, we had the Braves last week, didn't we? The Braves and the Spoilers. The Braves, when they started up that club, Spoilers got their board together. What we're going to call as lads, going to spoil the Braves. We're going to ruin them.
Yeah, the Braves. And by the way, that game is postponed, so there was no result for that one, John. And I've not even looked at our one-on-one competition between ourselves. I know the last time it was at 18-12, is it, John? Something like that.
I says, you says 19-12, and I says it was only 18, but when I listened back, it was actually 19.
Right, okay, so 19-12 it is, John. And we'll do the predictor in a wee minute. And by the way, it's Strollers, not Spoilers, John. So it's Celtic B against the Strollers. So an extra chance for 3 points, folks, if you're still listening. Now, if you don't listen, it's not our fault, but get your guess in for Celtic B against the Strollers as well. And it gives you a great chance to get an extra 3 points into the league table. Right, John, let's get into the predictor then. And we'll start with the Celtic game. Celtic versus Dundee United. What do you think, John?
I'm thinking, where that team from? The Bay City?
The Bay City. I don't know. Let me check it for you. Well, you talk about what you think the score's going to be against Dundee United, John. I'll find out where the Strollers are from.
I'm only kidding, and I don't care whether the Bay City Strollers, that's it.
But people might know now. But we think, John, Celtic against United, it's a must-win. Absolutely, 100% must-win.
I've heard of the Strollers. I'd never heard of the, what did you call them? The Rollers? Strollers?
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
But I'll just type that in the news. I'll give me a second, I'll tell you where they're from. Here we go. Edinburgh, John. They're from Edinburgh.
All right.
There you go. And let's have a look at what it says about them. Civil Service Strollers FC.
I've heard of them, man.
Civil Service Strollers. There you go. And they play at Christie Gills Park in the Muirhouse area in the Lowland League. There you go.
I've never been there. The other team I used to watch every other week was the Rock up at Royston.
Yeah, that's right, St Rock, yeah.
Going up there to watch St Rock's.
Yeah.
Good Celtic connections there, James McGrory Park.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always a good, you get used to get in there and get a wee whiskey and all that, so you did.
Yeah, free of charge?
No, it wasn't free. I used to go up there and watch them and get a wee whiskey and that, sit and have a wee whiskey and watch the Rock. Good.
Enjoy your Saturday.
Aye, it was a good wee day out, you know what I mean? Pies were rotten right enough, but the wee whiskey was good.
Yeah, fair play to you, John, actually, because you've actually been to a lot of the sort of smaller grounds all around the country, Montrose, the Rock, Arbroath, all these kind of places, John. You've been to various different wee stadiums. So fair play to you, John. You're just a Scottish football man through and through, so fair play to you. But let's get this then, John. Let's get into this big game, Celtic versus Dundee United, John. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be really tough.
I've got.
Oh, you go, John?
I was just going to say, I've never been to the Spoilers Stadium. I was like, who's the Spoilers, man?
Well, the Spoiler Stadium's now known as the Nancy Stadium.
Aye, no, that's the ruiners.
That's it, John. It's so depressing, wasn't it, John? It was really poor. For about 6 weeks there, John, we just didn't know where we were going, did we? Anyway, John, what do you think?
Right, Celtic against Dundee United, the big game. Martin O'Neill returns. Hopefully there's a big turn up for him. There's a lot of Celtic fans. I don't mean there's a big turn up, like a big vegetable. I hope I meant to say, I hope there's a big turnout for him. You know, a big turn up.
John, you go. Yeah, I know what you mean. There will be, John, I'll be a lot more than it has been over the last few weeks, let's put it that way.
A huge turn up.
Sorry, John, I'm laughing at that and it's quite bad, actually.
That's, but you've got to laugh, ain't you? There's nothing else you can do.
That's it.
Like, in all seriousness, I hope there's a huge... I hope there's a lot of people show up.
I know, you can't say a word to, you know. By the way, just very quickly, John, because this might affect your score prediction, it might affect it. The weather has to be very cold, John. 0 degrees, but no snow. The only snow we're going to be getting is the next day, John. So the rest of today looks quite good, actually. So it's going to be cloudy, it's going to be cold, but going by this weather app anyway, there's not going to be any snow, so we should be okay.
Well, this is it. We'll see what happens. It's early, so it can change. Weather in Scotland can change in a heartbeat, Xander.
Yeah, that's it.
So anyway, on to this game. Like I was saying, I just hope the stadium's packed. 60,000. 60,000. We'll have the Green Brigade back, which is always a bonus having them back. Yeah. Dundee United fans, they'll turn up their numbers. Very kind to Celtic when Celtic show up at Tannadice. They always give Celtic a fantastic allocation there. Although there was a wee bit of, an issue, I think, last season with the ticket prices at Tannadice. Do you remember that Celtic fans did a protest? I think they threw oranges onto the park or something.
Right. That's right, John. They did. They had to protest last season.
It wasn't oranges. Tangerines it have been.
Yeah, tangerines. That's right. No, they're right, John. But that happens up and down the country, I suppose. These clubs need to make their money, I suppose, but they do rip off their away supporters.
I still respect them for doing that, because I know it's hard on the fans sometimes, but a lot of fans haven't got a lot of money, and Celtic's all they've got. And the ticket prices get hiked up, and it does hit the fans in the pocket, a lot of fans in the pocket, when it's the only enjoyment they get out of life is watching their team play. But on the other side of the coin, you've got to say thanks to clubs that actually give Celtic a big allocation. They're looking after themselves as well, keeping their club afloat. Livingston as well, giving Celtic 3/4 of their stadium. Teams like that, a good business head on their shoulders. But anyway, look, let's get to this score predictors, Ander.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a successful return for Martin O'Neill and the Celtic players to have a big weight off of their shoulders in this game. I hope I'm right. Like, it could all go wrong. I really don't know. But I think a big weight will be lifted off the players. I don't think I never heard that drink getting poured there, by the way.
Well, I'm allowed to have a glass of orange juice, I know.
So it's a bit early for that. The game isn't for another good few years yet. Right.
You don't remember Mr. Track, do you? Should I put you in mute?
Well, you should have done, aye. Everybody heard that, by the way. Everybody listening will be rewinding it back.
Clipping it. Put it on Facebook.
Right, anyway, let's
go for it, John. I know you're trying to buy time to think about your score, but let's go for it, John. Let's get it done. What do you think, buddy?
I'm not buying time at all, just exposing you.
Well exposed.
Aye, caught a belter. Right, it's only a few years to go anyway, so no time like the present. Anyway, score prediction. I think it will be a successful return for Martin O'Neill. He'll have the players up for the game. He's going to have the players up for the game. The players know they owe Celtic big time. They owe the Celtic fans big time for the performances they've put in over the last 8 games. Absolutely shocking. But look, we know they're good players. We all know they're good players. And I think we'll bounce back with this one. And I'm optimistic and I'm hopeful and I'm quite confident. And I think Celtic to turn Dundee United over 3-0.
Yeah, that'd be lovely if we could do that, John. Dundee United, just off the back of losing to Dundee in the derby last weekend. I'm going to go 4-0 to Celtic, John. So either way, John, we'll take that one. We'll take the 3 points and then we'll move on. I think it's Europe next, John, for us after today's game, John. But anyway, good luck to the champions later on today. Right, John? Predictor time, 1-1 between us. We didn't get any right last time out. So let's see if we can get any right this weekend, John. Let's start with Hibs against Motherwell later on today as well.
Barcelona.
Barcelona. Hibs versus Barcelona. Sorry, John. Sorry about
that. Like Barcelona are a good team. they're a decent wee team. They're no great shakes. They play half decent. They were playing against Celtic and they turned us over no problem, but so did every other team. Even the Rangers managed to do it.
Yeah, they did.
So it's no great shakes beating us right now.
Yeah.
Well, at least it wasn't Nancy in charge.
Yeah.
But look, they're going to go to Easter Road, Motherwell, and fancy their chances. Bit of confidence. I think they won their last game as well, didn't they? I can't remember, but
yeah, they're John, they're fourth in the league. They're flying, absolutely flying. They're a couple of points behind us.
Aye, but I'm not going to back them in this game. I'm going to go for a Hibs win in this one. I'm going to go for Hibs to beat them 2-0.
All right, okay, and I'm going to go 2-0 with Motherwell, John. All right, Livingston Kilmarnock, John.
Oh, it's Livingston and Kilmarnock, 2 pretty poor teams, aren't they?
Yeah, this is a relegation battle, John.
I'll go for a draw in this one. I'm going to go for 1 each.
Good call. Looks like a draw all day, didn't it? And I'm going to go 1-0 either way. Who will I pick? I'll go for wee Martindale, John, to win 1-0. 1-0 to Livingston. St Mirren against Falkirk.
By the way, see David Martindale, he always sticks up for Celtic. See when things are going against Celtic or the media's getting on their case, he always sticks up for Celtic. I know he's a Rangers man, but I remember him, he's always stuck up for Celtic. And when Celtic's had hard times, especially the COVID season, I remember him sticking up for Celtic when everybody was, I can't remember what happened, some player went somewhere or something. And he's saying, these are looking too much into it, he's getting on their case. He says, it's no matter business, but you should just lay off them, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So fair play to be David Martindale for that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, was it St Mirren against... Who was it?
Sorry, John. I mean Martindale. He is a decent wee guy, actually, be Martindale, to be fair. St Mirren against Falkirk, John.
St Mirren against Falkirk. Falkirk's a tough team. That's who we're playing next, by the way, away from home.
Right.
Decent wee team, I think. John McGlynn's got Falkirk playing pretty well. St Mirren, I think Motherwell was turned them over last week. I think my head's all over the place. It's been more focused on Celtic recently. That's why I've not been that interested in the Scottish game that much recently, you know, because Celtic are all over the place, so I can't really take that much an interest in it. But I'm going to go for I'll go for a St Mirren to win 1-0.
And I will say I want St Mirren to win actually, John, because it is, I've just checked it there, it is Falkirk we play next, and it's Wednesday we play Falkirk. And it's a very tough one, John. It's away from home. How tough is that? The same night Hearts play St Mirren, John. So this must be the game that, Rangers played on Tuesday night there against Aberdeen. We play this midweek against Falkirk. So it's a great chance to go well clear of them if we beat Dundee United today, obviously. I'll go 1-0 to Falkirk, John. In that one.
Right.
And stick me Saturday for now, John. Ayr United against Airdrie, Brownie watch.
Airdrie are pretty poor. I'll go for a Brownie watch. 3-0. 3-0 Ayr United.
Yeah. 2-1 to Ayr United, John, for Scott Brown. And Lenny watch Morton against Dunfermline.
Morton seem to show up a lot in this podcast for Bruni and Lenny watch. And always say Morton are a decent team. They always get pumped. I'll go for a Pals win. I'm going to go for a Dunfermline win to win 2-1.
Yeah, of course, there was a lot of games last weekend that were abandoned, John, so maybe the follow on from that. I'll say 1-1 in that one, John. 1 each. Okay, the big double chance, bonus ball, if you like. 3 points for this league table on your left-hand side, folks. An extra 3 points if you get this right, if you're in that league table. All the regulars there. Celtic B, John, against... who is it again? Spoilers?
Strollers.
Strollers. Celtic B against the Strollers, John. What do you think?
Oh, the Strollers. Celtic B's been pretty poor as well.
Very poor. Very poor. Very
so
poor.
I think they'll keep up that trend and get beat 2-0 by the Strollers.
I think so as well, John. I don't think they've got a win in them now, to be honest with you, which is quite bad because that's who we're looking to for young talent coming through, and there's nothing there at all. So I'm going to say 2 each in that one, John. Okay, and it's Sunday, and it's the teams that are above us in the league, John, both playing on Sunday. So it's a great chance today for us, clearly. Got to win. Just got to win Celtic today. But Dundee against Heart of Midlothian on Sunday, John, what do you think?
Dundee can be a tough team to go and play away from home up there. Big Elvis was a big Hearts icon, wasn't he, at one point?
He was.
Big Elvis will not do anybody any favours. Big honest guy. Could be a tough game for Hearts, that one. It could be a draw, that one. I could be looking at maybe a wee one each in this one. That's what I'm saying.
You said 1-1. I'll go 2-1, John, to Hearts in that one. And finally for the predictor, John, finally. For the second time in 4 days, Aberdeen managerless against the Rangers at Pittodrie, John. What are you saying?
It's always a tough game for them going up to Pittodrie, isn't it? But look, they're getting confidence. They've won the last couple of games. Big Shermity banging them in like Larson. No disrespect to the guy, but he's an absolute donkey, you know. Walking past Celtic players like they never existed.
I know, it was poor.
Unbelievably poor. By the way, before I get into the Rangers game, the elbow in the head, you think that was a sending off, that one? He's holding off a Celtic player with one arm and he swings his other arm round and catches a Celtic player right in the head.
Yeah, it's a red card all day. Not looked at VAR. But we knew that anyway. We knew that was going to be the case. But anyway, it's gone, isn't it, John? That was a red card, and there was also a penalty denied, Stonewall penalty. I've not even seen mentioned once yet, John. With this corner to Celtic, ball comes in, corner to Celtic. I think it's Big Liam Scales gets pushed to the ground, inside the box while the ball's in mid-flight, so the ball is in play. Rangers player, no eyes on the ball, pushes the big man to the floor. That doesn't get looked at either. So yeah, these things happen, I suppose, John. But no, we think about this one, then, John.
Well, that game's away anyway. That's done
Yeah.
and dusted. Rangers won the second place league in January. Well done to them.
Yeah, it's amazing the amount of teams that have actually won the league already this season. Hearts have won it 3 times already, and now Rangers have won it. So well done to all of these teams for winning the league. How can 2 teams already win the league in one season, John? Very strange, isn't it?
It's very strange because Rangers only finished second.
Yeah, they've won the league in the second. At least Hearts are celebrating the first. You got to give them credit for that. The first, and they're celebrating. That's fair enough. But they're celebrating being second. That's funny.
Guy Fawkes night all over. You know what I mean, for going into second in the league. Absolutely brilliant with a game in hand as well. Remember?
Yeah, that's it.
Anyway, we've got the game in hand. I mean, so. The Rangers, it's tough, isn't it, getting up to Pittodrie for them, but Aberdeen managerless. I hope Aberdeen win, of course. I can't see it, Xander. I'm going to go for I just think Aberdeen are really poor. I mean, we beat them with Nancy.
That's true. That's very true.
I'm going to say the Rangers to win it 1-0.
They won it, John. 2-1 to Rangers. For me, the Rangers, sorry, in that one. All right, John, that wraps it up. I'm just taking a wee note of the scores. What did you say again? 1-0 to Rangers? 1-0, wasn't it?
I says 1-0,
All right, John. All right, that's it, John. Done, dusted. Got a wee bit we went on through that, because I know we've not been on for a week for various reasons for that. John will not go into that just now, but various reasons for that. Just the one before the Glasgow Derby and today for the Dundee United game, John. So we're hoping we're going to be back a bit more regular. There's just a few wee things going on just now. And we want to be back to that 3 a week again, John. So we'll get that up and running again. As long as we've got the competition and that done and people can get their guesses into the competition, that's the main thing just now. So thank you everybody for listening, watching, viewing, hitting that like button, hitting the subscribe button as well, and sharing everything else you do for us. We do appreciate it. The channel's picking up again, which is absolutely fantastic. John, we shall be final sum up, buddy.
Look, just go out and win the game. Just make us all happy again. Make the Celtic fans smile again. It's been too long coming that we've had nothing to obviously make us happy recently, the Celtic fans. It's been all 8 games of absolute misery. Well, we won against Aberdeen and Livingston. But I think Livingston should have took something out of that game, for being honest. But it's just been a horrible 8 games. We hope Martin can come in and turn that around. We hope he's put confidence back in the players. He's got them worked up for the game. He's telling them that these are the best players in the league and no team should be taking points off you in Scotland. We're going to go on a big run and we're going to go on and lift this league title. We're going to go and do it. That's what I'd be saying to him. Just go and lift the league title at the end of the season. Let nobody stand in your way. This is Celtic Football Club. Just go and win the league.
And if we did win that league title, would it be the best one in decades?
Sorry, I had you unmuted, then I muted you and spoke. I think it would definitely be the best one since we stopped Rangers winning 10 in a row. Yeah. I would say since that time. This season, the way things have gone, it's been absolute turmoil. Just reminded me of the dark days and all that. So I think if Celtic did win the league this season, this would be, in my lifetime watching Celtic, the best League One since we stopped Rangers doing 10 in a row. That's if we win it.
Yeah, of course, and it's a big if, isn't it? All right, John. Okay. All right, we went through a lot there, John. An awful lot, but there was a lot to catch up on because we've not been on for a week, so there's a lot to talk about. Good luck to Celtic later on today against Dundee United. 3 points in the bag, and we move on to Falkirk in midweek. That's what we're all looking for. As I say, Ella, thank you everybody for what you do, the like, the subscribes. And we're thinking about, by the way, changing the comments to subscribers only, but we've no clarified that yet. We maybe do that because there was a lot of, comments that, we don't want anybody seeing. So we're thinking about changing the comments to subscribers only. So we'll get into that in a wee bit more detail the next time we're on. Right, John, we'll catch you later, buddy.
Catch you later, Xander. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail, John. Thank you very much, pal.
The Celtic Forever podcast is a zero advert and zero profit channel. The channel also includes Celtic highlights and player interviews, so join the uninterrupted fun and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.